Frisco RoughRiders continuing a series with the San Antonio Missions today, and joining us is Texas Rangers rehabber Jim Adduci. Jim, thanks so much for joining us on the pregame show today. Reason you were put on the DL back in April, of course, was a broken left little finger. How does the finger feel, and you ready to hit the bigs once again?
Yeah, I mean, I've been out for a little bit. We had some pins put in for about 4 weeks, and then I was able to kind of get the feeling back to where I can hold the bat and grip it well. And the last couple of days I've been swinging it, and I definitely wanted to start playing.
And it happened on a slide into second base, if I'm not mistaken. When it happened, did you know it was broken?
When it happened, I thought I just jammed the knuckle in it, and so I just assumed popped it back in place, and I thought, well, it's just going to be sore. And as the game went on, it kept getting more swollen and more swollen. It got harder and harder to hit, but ended up just staying in there. I don't know. I couldn't come out.
And that's on your throwing hand, right?
Yes.
And what about a broken little finger puts you on the DL for a month? Is it more difficult to bat or field?
It's a little bit more difficult to bat. Obviously, you got to grip the bat and make sure you feel strong with it in your hand, and the vibrations on the bat too. So for me, the last couple of days I've been swinging, I've been feeling well, less and less irritation into it. So I understand where it is. Broke my thumb a while back, and I know that it's not going to feel right for a while. But as long as I can't hurt it, then I'll be all right.
You made your major league debut in September of 2013. You were 28 years old, had nearly 900 minor league games under your belt, and then coming into this season, you were playing very well at the plate, making your first start. You already had 3 hits in that game. Was it deflating to break your finger in a freak accident like that and end up on the DL for a month?
I think, I'm a big believer in everything happens for a reason. For me, I was able to, even in that time, be able to work on my bottom hand in the cage. Actually sit back and watch the games, and just really kind of watch as more of a strategically and approaches at home plate from different guys. And, when that stuff happens, you can't sit back and feel bad for yourself. You got to look forward and look something that can help you out later on.
Did this injury alter the goals that you have for yourself for the season in any way?
I think, for me and my goals as the season is even being here, and playing tonight and is just helping the team win. Do whatever I can tonight to be able to help them win. I mean, that's what it's all about. So, my goal is pretty simple, and I try to keep it as simple as I can and not get too complicated with it.
In your career, you've played in the outfield, you've played at first base, you can come out of the dugout as a pinch hitter. What do you see your role being with the Rangers when you get back to Arlington?
I think it's the same way. I think, I'm okay with that. I take it as a challenge. Whatever role they want to put me in, I take it as a challenge. And if they want me to be a pinch hitter, which is not easy to do, I'll do it. And I'm not too picky about it. I want to be, obviously I want to be up there, and I want to be able just to contribute. And that's pretty much, I don't care what role.
Jim Adduci of the Texas Rangers joining us on the RoughRiders pregame show. Jim is in town on a rehab assignment as his left little finger recovers from a fracture. You talked before you came on the air with us. You did a lot of time in the Southern League. What are your initial impressions of Dr Pepper Ballpark and Frisco, because this is your first time here?
This is an absolutely awesome place. I came in and I was just blown away. I thought what a great facility this is, and an environment for players to come through. Obviously I've never played here, but I imagine the fan base is just is Texas strong, and I look forward to being out there, and it just looks like a great place.
Now, your father was a major leaguer as well. Do you still get advice from the old man? And if so, what has he been telling you as you go through this injury process?
I still get advice from him and stuff like that. And him, he's more along the lines of if you're going to go, you got to go. Like, you got to play hard, and don't hold back. And that's kind of how, as I go into tonight, I'm going to play the game that I've always played. I'm not going to hold back. I'm not going to do anything that I've done differently, and that's kind of the big thing that he was really getting across to me.
You were born in British Columbia, in Canada, while your dad was in the middle of his career. Why were you born in Canada? Is that where your dad's career had taken him at that point, or how did that all shake out?
Yeah, he was playing in Vancouver,
okay,
and it was AAA at the time, and I ended up being born there. People were like, "Oh, you're Canadian." I was like, "Yeah, I lived there for about 6 weeks of my life," but Obviously it's an interesting thing, and then I have dual citizenship, and it's pretty cool.
Do you have any memories of your dad's playing career, or were you a little too young?
At the end of his career, he played in Scranton and in a little bit with the Phillies at the time, and I just remember being able to go out there on the field and play and play catch and just hit, and it was a great experience for me. Obviously that was where I really fell in love with the game, and that's why I don't want to leave it. I just love it.
I have to ask this, a personal question for me. I grew up in Milwaukee, big fan of the Brewers. I saw that your dad played a couple of seasons with the Brewers. Do you have any memories of Milwaukee? Did you live in Milwaukee at all as a little kid?
Yeah, I don't have a lot of memories there, but I do remember the one thing was I used to be scared of Robin Yount and his mustache, and I used to be like really scared of it. And but no, my dad was there for a while. He keeps in touch with a couple of those guys and stuff like that. And that team, Paul Molitor, Robin Yount, Rob Deere, there was a bunch of players on that team, and it was a cool experience.
You actually returned to the Midwest later in life. I saw that you graduated from high school in a Chicago suburb. Was checking out your Twitter feed, saw that you're a Blackhawks fan. How are you taking that 7-game series with the Kings?
Yeah, that was tough. I actually haven't really talked about it or read anything on it. It was tough for me. I'm a big Blackhawks fan, big Chicago sports guy. Definitely root for the Bears and the Bulls and the Blackhawks, and it was tough for me. I'm not gonna lie. It was a good game though, and hopefully they keep the core together there.
Were you a Cubs or White Sox fan growing up, or neither?
I really wasn't. People ask me that all the time when I used to be with the Cubs. I said, honestly, growing up, the coolest thing about Chicago is the day games for the Cubs. They used to have a ton of them, and so you catch the end of that game, and then you watch the White Sox at night.
Well, Jim, thanks so much for your time on the pregame show. We're wishing you best of luck as that finger gets back to normal, and we're glad that you're here in Frisco. We're looking forward to seeing you in Arlington real soon. Thanks again.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Jim Adduci on the RoughRiders pregame show. We're back after this on the RoughRiders Baseball Network.